In the late 1980s, Sweden's military faced a pressing challenge. Its aging fleet of Centurion tanks, including the Stridsvagn 102R, Stridsvagn 104, and the innovative but increasingly outdated Stridsvagn 103, was struggling to keep pace with modern Soviet armor like the T-72 and T-80. To address this gap, the Swedish Army proposed the Stridsvagn 105 program, an ambitious modernization effort to upgrade the Centurion fleet and extend its operational life into the 1990s and early 2000s. The program aimed to enhance the tank's fire control systems, armor, mobility, and electronics, potentially integrating advanced 105mm ammunition, laser rangefinders, ballistic computers, composite or reactive armor, and improved night vision capabilities. The Stridsvagn 105 was envisioned as a cost-effective, interim solution to maintain Sweden's armored capabilities, while the nation evaluated long-term options for its ground forces. However, despite its potential, the Stridsvagn 105 program was cancelled in favor of acquiring the German Leopard 2 tank, a decision shaped by technological limitations, strategic realignments, and economic considerations. The Stridsvagn 105 program emerged during a pivotal period in Sweden's defense history, as the Cold War's final years heightened concerns about Soviet military advancements. Sweden, maintaining its policy of armed neutrality, relied on a robust domestic defense industry and a mix of imported and indigenous platforms. The Centurion tanks, acquired in the 1950s and 1960s, had been incrementally upgraded, with the Stridsvagn 104 receiving modernized fire control systems and diesel engines. The Stridsvagn 103, a turretless tank with a 105mm gun, was a unique Swedish design optimized for defensive warfare, but increasingly obsolete against modern threats. The Stridsvagn 105 program sought to address these deficiencies by retrofitting the Centurion fleet with cutting-edge technology. Proposed upgrades included advanced fire control systems for improved accuracy, additional armor to counter anti-tank guided missiles, and possibly a 120mm gun to align with NATO standards. The program also considered enhanced mobility through engine or transmission upgrades, aiming to keep the Centurion competitive in a rapidly evolving battlefield. Despite its promise, the Stridsvagn 105 program faced significant hurdles. The Centurion's 1940s-era chassis imposed inherent design limitations, restricting the extent of modernization. Even with advanced upgrades, the Stridsvagn 105 would struggle to match the performance of newer tanks equipped with composite armor and 120mm smoothbore guns. The Stridsvagn 103, while innovative, was also ill-suited for modern combined arms warfare due to its fixed-gun design, which limited its flexibility in offensive operations. By the late 1980s, Sweden's defense planners recognized that upgrading these aging platforms would yield only marginal improvements, insufficient to counter the sophisticated threats posed by Soviet armor and ATGMs. Moreover, the program's scope required substantial investment in research, development, and retrofitting, raising questions about its cost-effectiveness compared to acquiring a modern, off-the-shelf platform. The cancellation of the Stridsvagn 105 program was heavily influenced by Sweden's strategic shift toward closer alignment with Western defense systems. Although officially neutral, Sweden began to prioritize interoperability with NATO allies in anticipation of potential cooperation. The German Leopard 2, with its 120mm smoothbore gun, advanced composite armor, and superior mobility, offered a significant leap in capability over the proposed STRV-105. The Leopard 2 was already a proven platform in NATO arsenals, ensuring access to a reliable supply chain and shared technological advancements. In contrast, the Stridsvagn 105 would have been a bespoke solution with limited long-term potential, as the Centurion's chassis could not accommodate future upgrades to the same extent. This strategic pivot was evident in Sweden's decision to lease 160 Leopard 2A4 tanks, designated Stridsvagn 121, in 1994 as an interim measure, followed by the purchase of 120 Leopard 2A5 equivalent tanks, the Stridsvagn 122, between 1994 and 2002, tailored with Swedish-specific enhancements like improved command and control systems and additional armor. Economic considerations further sealed the fate of the Stridsvagn 105 program. Modernizing hundreds of Centurion tanks would have required significant financial outlays for new systems, including fire control, armor, and electronics, with costs potentially rivaling those of acquiring new tanks. The Leopard 2 offered a more cost-effective solution over the long term, providing a platform with a longer service life and lower maintenance costs due to its modern design. Sweden's defense industry, while capable of executing the Stridsvagn 105 upgrades, saw greater value in partnering with foreign manufacturers like Krauss Maffei Wegmann, the Leopard 2's producer. This partnership not only provided access to advanced technology but also reduced Sweden's reliance on domestic-only solutions, which could be resource-intensive and less scalable. The decision to abandon the Stridsvagn 105 also reflected Sweden's broader defense modernization goals in the post-Cold War era. The early 1990s marked a period of reduced global tensions, but Sweden remained focused on maintaining a credible deterrent in the Baltic region, where its strategic interests lay. The Leopard 2's versatility, rapid deployment capabilities, and compatibility with NATO tactics made it an ideal choice for Sweden's evolving security environment. The Stridsvagn 121 and Stridsvagn 122 tanks effectively replaced the Centurion fleet and Stridsvagn 103, which were phased out by the early 2000s, with some retained briefly for training or reserve roles. The Stridsvagn 122, in particular, became a cornerstone of Sweden's armored forces, offering superior firepower, protection, and mobility compared to what the Stridsvagn 105 could have achieved. The cancellation of the Stridsvagn 105 program was not without trade-offs. It marked the end of Sweden's reliance on the Centurion, a platform that had served reliably for decades and required the nation to invest in foreign technology, a shift that sparked some debate within defense circles. However, the decision proved prescient, as the Leopard 2 fleet has remained a backbone of Sweden's ground forces.